Hello, 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 and welcome back to Mythkeepers. We are your hosts. I am Zach, and joining me as always, he needs a bigger room to do his fucking. It is my boy Scotty Westside.
To be honest, I really don't. You know, there's not a lot of...
You got those micro thrusts. You don't need much space at all, dude.
It's just like, I'm like a hummingbird. It's just like vibrations more than anything.
It's like a hummingbird.
About the same size, too, honestly.
That's very good.
Oh, boy.
Fuck, man. This was a fucking batch of chapters, wasn't it?
It was indeed a batch of chapters. This is ACOMAF chapters.
A batch of chap.
44 through 51. This was a big batch. I think you said that Dom advised us that we kind of had to take this big chappy chunk just kind of get through it, and she was right. Some of these are shorter too. So
yeah, no, I think she was right. Dom did a good job, I think, mapping this book out. I think it's felt right.
I think we have had plenty to talk about each time. Maybe too much sometimes, but I don't think that's on her. I think that's can
on
focus
us.
On the micro a little bit too much.
Like the micro thrusts.
Like the micro thrusts,
like
the micro
thrusts.
peens. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's like we wrote these jokes beforehand.
I promise we didn't. If you were on the Patreon, you would know that we were literally 5 seconds ago. We're like, do you have an intro? Do I have an intro? What are we doing here? So we definitely are not as well prepared as we seem. I mean, we definitely are. What am I saying?
Because we totally seem so well prepared.
Totally.
Guys, welcome back. We are so excited to be talking ACOMAF. It's a big old
Here it comes. I can't wait for this joke.
big old fucking batch of chaps.
Yeah. Delivered
and
masterfully.
Like Scotty said, what?
Delivered masterfully there.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. With such cadence and grace and elegance.
Grace and elegance, yeah, is what I was thinking of. Yeah.
That's my nicknames in high school, actually.
Grace and elegance. Yeah, true.
Yeah, we're back, and we're excited to talk about this. A couple quick plugs. We want to remind you guys that you guys can support us over on Patreon at patreon.com/mythkeepers, where we play lots of fun games. We talk about our week, what movies, books, games, all the good stuff that we are into recently. Give out a couple cheeky recommendations. And we also have recently started sharing music with each other, which has just been a really nice, intimate touching of the tips between Scott and I. It's so great. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Love you, buddy. You guys should go do that. It's such a fun time. But if you can't, that's also okay. We appreciate you guys listening and watching. It is one of the best ways to support the podcast. You can always share this with friends and family that you think might like. Dipshit men talking about their first time experiencing a romantasy series. So that is what's happening. Other than that, we have a couple special thank yous that we want to give for those of you guys who do go and join us over on the Patreon. You will be included in this list very soon. Well, what happened? Here we go. Okay.
Production! Oh, wait, that's
Production extraordinaire. Where did this go? Here we go. I'm
Nailed
just stalling for time.
Grace and elegance. Grace and elegance.
We want to say thank you so much for your support over on the Patreon to Shannon, Sydney, Nico, Dom, Jordan, Nathan, Jen, Allie, Chaz, Jenna, Terrence, Andrea, Emma, Kristen, Sarah, and Hannah. We love you guys so much. Your support means the absolute world to us. It gives us the opportunity to continue doing this and creating fun stuff for you guys. So thank you so much. Other than that, though, I think we're ready to jump into this.
We should jump in. Last time, I feel like the episode got away from us a little bit. It was a bit of a monstrosity. This one, full warning, could be long again, but I feel like we're going to try
long in this episode.
It's definitely not us. We're going to try and ring it in, I think, a little bit more. But, listen, I like it when we have good discussions also. So,
yeah,
we'll do what we do.
Yeah.
So, at the end of chapter 43, where we last left off, our lovebirds were feuding. She had said some things, he had said some things, feelings were hurt,
It's just angy.
Yeah, he was all angy, pouting, and she called him a hateful coward, which I feel was deserved. Good on you, Feyre.
Sure.
And she was texting him, and he was not texting back, and that was basically how
left
the
her on
chapter
red.
ends. He did leave her on red, yes.
Dang,
for sure.
dude. And he was still showing active on his social media.
Yeah,
too.
he was online. He was definitely showing online, and
he was reacting to her
ignoring
stories, reacting to other girls' stories.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, he wasn't specifically reacting to hers. Everyone else's, yes, he was fine.
Oh, thanks.
He did like a laugh, crying laugh emoji on Morgan's post, but just ignored her. So that dick.
True. Yes, that's what happened.
So chapter 44 starts, and she's got this whole gown made of jewels. It's like the whole thing is diamonds, and she looks hot as hell. Apparently,
she looks fucking great. She even says that she looks like a shooting star.
Yeah,
and this is what I aspire to be every day.
You're shooting something,
dude. But when I'm in the mirror every morning, these are my morning affirmations. Is I'm trying to convince myself I look like a shooting
star. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Well, you see what happens to shooting stars here in a bit. Apparently, they turn into like green goo. So I don't know if that's great for you.
This shooting star does drip some goo from time to time.
When she gets to the party, Cassian flies her up there.
Was she singing at the party?
I'm singing at the party. Very good. Morgan has this, I think it's Morgan, has this cheeky line about that's some dress your lucky Amren is hiding in her little attic, or she'd probably steal it right off you, the vain Drake. And I'm like, fuck yes, that's my go, Amren. Just gonna steal the jewel dress right off of Feyre.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably do the same to lean into my shooting star aesthetic, but you know.
Also, I love the fact that Amren's just not a party girl. She's like, nah, that ain't me. I'm gonna hide in
She's
my
like,
attic.
nah, I'd rather read my books.
I'd rather read my books for sure. Good on you, Amren.
I feel like she appeals to the demographic of many women now. Many women now are just opting to read their books instead. I know Amanda is.
Instead of what?
Instead of going out and partying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, apparently, like, Morgan is borderline accusing Amren of being a hipster here also. Or at least a contrarian, because she says something about Starfall disturbs her. She claims, who knows? She probably does it to be contrary, which is very funny. Amren the hipster.
She's just too cool for it, man. She did parties a long time ago before they were cool.
Actually, legitimately, though, Amren is way too cool.
She is.
This party doesn't impress me that much, by the way. Like, it's fine, but there's way better stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
We do get some background lore from our girl Morgan here. Feyre just straight up asks her, like, what happened between her and Cassian. We kind of already knew this was the case, but this is now from Morgan's point of view instead of Rhys telling it.
Right.
They only did the deed the once when she was 17. She was visiting the camp, the Illyrian camp, visiting Rhys. They became friends. One night, Rhys, his mother, had to go back to the night court. Azriel went with them. So Cassian and I were left alone. One thing led to another, and I wanted Cassian to be the one who did it. I wanted to choose. So again, she was having a good time. She liked Cassian, but it really was seemingly about just the, you know, she didn't want to be sold off, you know.
Right.
And, you know.
And fucking a really hot fucking Illyrian warrior is a great way to not get sold.
There is that as well. But again, it seems to be more about her choice in the matter. Right. Because she does follow up with, like, it never happened again. I think that's what they said, right? That's what she told her. Yeah, because Rhys gets all pissed, which seems strange to me. And Rhys and Cassian fight it out.
But Rhys is mad because of what, like, the implication of, like, what it's going to do to Mor's position.
That's
and, like,
true.
The
it's
danger
putting them both in danger.
Yes.
Which let me put Cassian in danger by fighting him instead.
Right. Let me beat his ass.
Let me beat his ass, actually, though.
To keep him out of danger, yeah, for sure.
Azriel was even angrier about it. And I think Feyre has a thought here of like, oh, was Azriel pissed that he didn't stay behind instead of Cassian? And I'm like, yeah, probably. But yeah, never together again after that. Morgan says, no, I was desperate, reckless that night. I picked him not just for his kindness, but also because I wanted my first time to be with one of the legendary Illyrian warriors.
Because I wanted my first time to be real fucking good is what she just said.
Have you seen Cassian? He's hot as hell. Or Zach at least thinks so.
Dude, okay, just imagine a woman who's not lost her virginity being like, nah, I'm not down for, I mean, hey, by the way, supporter of women here on this podcast.
Yes, thank you for
whatever
that.
you like is totally fine and valid. But just imagine somebody being like, regular dudes, nah. I want the fucking like MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like that's who I want.
Like the strongest warrior who's ever lived.
If it's not that guy, I'm out.
Yeah. She kind of does, because she says later, I've had other lovers, but I get bored. So she's not, Morgan is just like
their wingspan just isn't big enough. Man.
Yeah, they're just, well, she's just like, she's not interested in Cassian. She, she does some things here and there, but she's just like, She can't be tied down, which I respect.
It's kind of, it is also a little sad though, because like Az is like super in love with her.
Yeah, no, it is. There is that aspect of it, which is
and
sad.
She's just like, I fuck around, but like I'm not really interested in anyone.
Well, she doesn't.
And it's like, well, what about?
She doesn't want to ruin that friendship with Azriel. Yeah, I know. I know.
Poor guy.
I was thinking. What's funny is she also says, he just wants what he can't. She's talking about Cassian now. He just wants what he can't have, and it's irritated him for centuries that I walked away and never looked back. And I'm like, that's great. This is Cassian. This just further proves what Scott's been saying, that Cassian is just a whiny bitch boy who's irritated at what he can't have in Morgan.
Okay.
So
you know what? I've had it with you. Did you see the video I posted?
That is very true. It's extremely
I'm so over your Cassian hate. His hotness alone is deserving of a little more respect.
Beauty is more than skin deep, okay, my guy? Like, I
yeah, but when you're that hot, skin deep, come on, bro.
You haven't even seen him. You've only heard him described.
I've seen some AI art of Cassian, and
fair enough.
Cassian fucks, bro. Let me just say.
Okay, if you had to choose Rhys or Cassian.
Oh, Rhys, come on.
But purely based on looks, not personality in the whole package.
Well, okay, so like from what I get
from the AI
books,
art that you've seen.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are pretty consistent. Like people agree, like this is what he looks like. Cassian does kind of have a little bit more of like a bigger, like
bulkier.
He's
like the quarterback of the team.
Well,
he's the jock.
He kind of leans more into like a Khal Drogo aesthetic to me.
Oh, so definitely
Jason Momoa, like in that space. Just more, not to say Jason Momoa isn't like chiseled, but like just more. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I think Cassian might be physically hotter.
Okay.
Like in
that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah. But I think that like. I think that Rhys's charisma and just like overall, everything about him is way
He's the
hotter.
Rizzler, that Rhys. They should just call him Rhysler.
He's got that charisma.
Has anyone said that before? Can I coin that, Rhysler?
That's a Mythkeeper special, right there, man.
So your boy Rhys shows up. What is he all about, Zach?
Well, I mean, so he's like, hey, there's this. Wait, what the fuck? Oh yeah, okay.
By the way, are you still taking notes the same way you did last time?
No.
No. I'm sad.
No. I could not, dude. It was rough. Yeah, that was not a good time. Okay, so Rhys shows up and they're basically like, I'm sorry that I was a fuckhole. It's a little awkward at first. Then he's like, hey, let's go over here. We can watch this really beautiful thing that's happening over here where it's a little more private.
Right.
And so they go somewhere more private, and he basically just kind of explains.
He just needed some time with his.
He just needed some time, man. I do like this. She asks him if he'd like to dance with her. And I feel like we talk about this pretty often, or we definitely have been throughout this book, but like I genuinely am constantly impressed by Feyre. Like I think other characters are more interesting, like Amren's a great example, and like Nesta when we get chapters with her, but like Feyre's a really good character. And I don't often feel that way about a main character. Like I'm always like I'm always more drawn to the decisions and the actions of the side characters.
Right.
But Feyre's really good, man.
Well, I think it's especially impressive considering the fact that everything is from her POV, that I do still really like Feyre.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I feel
a feat.
Like a feat in and of itself is like that she has not made me dislike her because we're getting everything from her, like Harry did a lot to draw the comparison, because we're getting everything from her point of view. I still, despite all that, still really enjoy and like her.
Yes. Yeah. I wonder if there will become a point where it gets tiresome, but I haven't reached that yet, which I think is impressive.
I think there is part of me, I definitely would say that I still feel, and we mentioned this in like the very first episode, is that, you know, the first person perspective is not our favorite.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like I still feel that, and I still kind of wish it was done differently. But what I guess I'm trying to say is like Feyre herself has not gotten on my nerves too many times, and in the few times she has, she usually comes right back from it. So
right, when we kind of like zoom out, this story has, again, kudos. I feel like we're just dishing out some like real big positives here. A lot of characters are interesting and fun, and I would love to spend more time with them. So yeah, a POV written book would have been fantastic, and I think would be my preference on how to experience the story. But despite that, Feyre has yet to annoy me, which I think is really big for a main character, because it's very common that a main character is just like, I'm just in their head a little too long.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Know? Anyway, so she asks him if he wants to dance with her. And he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll dance with you. And of course he's got to like take it a little over the edge, and he's like, I'd dance with you all night if that's what you wanted. Right. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he says something like that. Okay. So they're watching these stars that are falling. Starfall is the event that they're at. And they're actually slime balls.
Yeah.
They're actually
spirits.
They're spirits that are migrating. That it happens every time, like every year. They're migrating.
That splatter all over their faces. Are these spirits just gone now? Are these dead spirits? Did they kill some spirits?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that's very sad.
It's like, I mean, it's basically like what's it called? Like when like you're driving and a fucking bug hits your windshield.
Oh,
like,
sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just gone, dude.
No, what this made me think of was, there's a scene in The Boy and the Heron, which is a great movie that I wish you had seen, where their forest spirits are,
I'll have to put that on the list to watch.
You have to put that on the list. There's spirits doing like a migration of sorts. And the thought of one of them being splattered would make me very, very sad. And I was like, I don't think I'm okay with these spirits getting splattered on their faces and them just laughing about it. Like, that seems pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they so the spirit splatters on her face, and that splatters on his face, and then like in this like glowing, like, I don't know, like her freckles are all like lit up in stardust basically, and he's like glowing, and it's very cute. And they laugh, and they're just like he notices like she's like, he's never really been able to experience her like just having a genuine laugh. It's a nice moment between them. It is a nice moment between them. He kisses her on the cheek, and he delivers the simple but effective line, "I'm very glad I met you, Feyre." And it works. It's just a nice moment. I'm like, I'm back in. I'm back in on this romance.
As if you were ever fucking out, you piece of shit. Don't say that like there was
I'm
ever
back in,
a
Scott.
point.
I'm back
I
in, man.
can't stand you.
I'm fucking back in, dude.
There's this bit here I wanted to bring up. I don't know where this is in this chapter.
Okay.
But like she's watching Morgan, Azriel, and Cassian dance. And I can't remember if this is, I think this is her. She says, I couldn't bear to see it, just as I couldn't bear to see my 3 friends dancing together as if it was the last time they'd ever do it. There's like this feeling kind of permeating this party that shit is about to get really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I don't, it seemed like there was an escalation that I missed a little bit. Because it's like Morgan and Azriel and Cassian and even Rhys to an extent is like, this is our last hurrah before we all might die.
I think,
and I'm like, wait, where did this come from?
I think the way that okay, so first off, I don't disagree with you, because it does seem a little like
there's a finality to it.
Like it seems like the stakes are like, oh shit,
right?
Like it's
like
now.
Out of nowhere, cranked to 11.
Yeah, but these go to 10. These go to 11.
These all go to 11.
Yeah. So I think what's really happening is like their plans have been made and they're about to finally like go their separate ways, and there's not like a, hey, we're meeting back here in 3 days. Like you're going to go here to take care of this. You're going to go here to take care of this. And like that's kind of how I'm reading it. But yes, I do feel like it does, like it did just kind of turn up a little bit.
It just kind of felt, a little out of place, kind of out of nowhere, where it was just like, oh, there's like this air of finality in this party where it's like, oh, I'm like, wait, what, did I forget what they're going to do tomorrow? Is like, they're all about to die. They could die or something.
Hey, guess what? I forgot. Yeah. I forgot what they were going to do tomorrow.
Also forgot what that. Well, I don't know if they ever told us, but I mean, anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's another really disturbing bit here that I feel like we should call out, where Rhys tells Feyre about what every year on Starfall, Amarantha would basically make him basically like have her way with him all night, because Starfall is not something that's like exclusive to Valeris, like other people know about it.
Right.
So Amarantha would basically not allow him to experience that, which is like very important to the Night Court, and also just put him through hell. And he tells Feyre that he's never told, like she's the first person that he's told this. And Feyre, I think, brings up a very good point, because he says something about like not wanting to burden them with it.
Right.
And Feyre tells him that she thinks they would be more than willing and happy even to help him share that burden.
Share that weight.
Which I just think is like I think that's a lesson that Rhys should probably take to heart more. And I think that's something that we could all probably take to heart more.
Honestly, man, yes, that's a great call out, dude.
Because I definitely have that where it's like, well, no, it's my problem. I don't need to let anyone else, worry about my problems. It's like, no, like that's what your friends and your buddies are there for.
That's what your people are there for.
Yes. And I think that's just a really good call out from Feyre that I wanted to point out.
It's interesting, like, not to get too like meta here, but like, it's like as your friend, like I signed up for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know that.
Yeah. But
also like, I'm not jumping at the idea of like unloading my shit on you.
Right. No, definitely.
So it is very difficult. But
I think that's just like a human nature thing,
I think it is too. I mean, I think for the sake of the book, like Rhys does take it to a different level, and it's like,
yes, for sure.
Like, hey man, like everybody knows the stakes. Like everybody realizes how deep and important and heavy this stuff probably is, and you still like push them out.
Right.
So yes, I do think it's a lesson that he should learn.
Yes.
But yeah, it's It's a difficult thing.
Because nothing really good can come of like bottling that shit up and sharing it with no one, you know? Like I'm at least glad he's sharing it with Feyre. But yeah, definitely. Like I appreciate that she made that call out to him of like, hey, you know, let your friends in more. So yeah, you talked about that was kind of the end of the chapter, right? Which you were talking about with the precious moment.
Yeah, it kind of bleeds into. It does kind of bleed into 45 because like they continue dancing at the beginning of 45. But yes.
Oh yeah, they fly home and she kind of stays up for a little bit, waiting and hoping that he'll come into her room and come into her as well.
Yeah.
But he does not. He does not come into her room. But also she's having this thought that her just thinking these things makes her a traitor.
Why? Why does this keep happening?
You had a very little thumbs up. She thinks that she's a traitor to Tamlin by like having these thoughts even, which is a kind of a reoccurring thing throughout these chapters.
Yes. I want to say too, man, like kudos to Sarah J. Maas for this. Like I know, like, okay, jokes aside, I know you're not like crazy invested in like the romance and you're just more invested in the characters and stuff. But
I mean, that's not entirely true.
I mean, you're not in it like I'm in.
Well, no,
I guess is what I'm
come
saying.
on. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone is.
But I think that the tension and the want for them to be like in it with each other and just fucking commit and like just fucking take that wall down and rip each other's clothes off or like just be like, hey, like I fucking love you. That has built up really well for me throughout this book. Like at the very beginning, it was like, oh, this is a hot ass guy. They're gonna get together, sure. But like the more that we read, I'm just like, okay, like they need to get there.
Well, see, that's I think where I fall off a little bit is like I feel like we've gone a little too far. We've dragged this section out.
I think that she knows exactly what she's doing.
And
I think that we wouldn't feel like that if
doesn't.
we weren't. I feel like we wouldn't feel like that if we weren't only reading 4 or 5 chapters every 2 weeks.
Maybe that's true, but I feel like for in-book weeks now, they have been like, it's just like, just fuck already. Come on, you two.
See, I think that that's the fun of it, though, man. I think that that's what's going to make that first time. And honestly, that's what makes one of these chapters, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. But that's what makes that the first time is like, honestly, dude, like the book's just edging, bro. Like the book's just edging.
No, 100%. That's
and
why
I'm into that.
That's why you love it. Is because it's just more edging for you.
I'm fucking into it, dude. So.
Oh my god.
No, no, like it. I have thought several times. I feel like this is like really good the way that it's been like building that sexual tension between them and the reader, but
I feel like it's done pretty well. I mean, I know that's always a thing. That's a very common trope or complaint or whatever you want to call it in like romances where it's like the will they, won't they, the get it over with already, like the drawing it out for way longer than it probably should be drawn out. And I won't say, I feel like this, I made a comment to complain about it a little bit here, but it's not that bad. Like I've seen ones that have drawn out way worse, way longer. That were way more insufferable. Like this one's fine. It just feels like, I guess
it feels terrible because we're going through this so slowly.
Well, there's that, but I also think I'm just not fully taking into account of like how kind of broken of people these two are, and that probably has something to do with it too. So hey, fair enough.
Probably a little.
So they get to this Illyrian war camp and it sucks. Moore hates it and says it should be burned down. I'm with Morgan as always on this one.
We meet Devlin.
Yeah, this guy's like a real dick, but apparently he's like the least dick of the dicks in the Illyrians.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't have much else other than like Rhys takes her into the mountains to train.
Yeah, my note is Rhys tells him to fucking scram.
Yeah, basically. He's like, hey, get your buddies out of my fucking house while you're at it.
Yeah,
too.
he's like,
And
hey,
tell
get
them
my
to
house
clean
fucking
it.
ready.
Get my house ready. Clean that shit up.
Devlin's like, but our elite warriors are housed there, and he's like, well, fucking unhouse them, bitch, and tell them to clean on their way out.
Yeah, he's like, take a look here next to me, Cassian and Moore and Feyre. They're my elite warriors. You fuck.
Yeah.
Get them out.
I do really like that he says. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the quote, but he says something like, if any of them like touch her or disrespect her or something like that.
She's mine, he says.
She's mine. If any of them do anything, like they'll lose their hand, and then also they'll lose their head, and then also when Feyre's done with them,
that's a funny bit.
will fuck them up. Yeah. And Feyre realizes that he's kind of like,
he's like, gassing her up.
He's gassing her up. Yeah. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I did like that. Yeah. So after they go into the mountains to train, Feyre asks him about Tamlin. She's like, hey, you owed me some answers from way back whenever.
This is I like this conversation. I was very into
good.
This
is backstory. This is lore that we did not know, and this was very interesting stuff. So they were friends at one time, like Rhys and Tamlin. Like, Rhys knew him and saw that he kind of was not a super shitty High Lord's son, that there was kind of some maybe some goodness there, and he tried to befriend him, and they were buds. And like basically like their families did not approve. Neither Rhys's family nor Tamlin's family like approved of their friendship, is what I gathered from this.
Mm-hmm.
And Tamlin's father especially was threatened by it, by me, and because he was weaker than both me and Tamlin, and he wanted to prove to the world that he wasn't. So basically what happens is Rhys is supposed to like leave the Illyrian camp and meet his mother and sister like halfway somewhere. And apparently he told Tamlin this, and Tamlin told his father, and Rhys didn't go for reasons. I was a little unclear on that. And Tamlin's family, including Tamlin, show up and kill Rhys's mother and sister
and send their heads in a box down the river to them. That's fucked,
which is super fucked. It is not really clear how much, like, I really want to hear this story from Tamlin's perspective, because how was this a mistake, an accident by him, of like him telling his father, or like was he more complicit? Was he in on the idea? Was he in on this happening more than ever? Was it something he just, remarked offhand and, his family took advantage, or was there more intention and like, was he part of the terrible thing that they did here? I have a sneaking
suspicion that will be something that is talked about.
I think so
in the future.
I think so too. Obviously Rhys has pretty big guilt from this because he was supposed to be there and he wasn't. Right in the middle of this story, there's kind of a weird aside where Feyre is realizing she can combine her powers into sick combo moves. She does like a down, left, forward, up, right, A, B,
She's
X,
like,
Y.
if I press A and B at the same time.
Exactly. I will bring out water and freeze it and then turn it into steam with fire. And if I burn my whole meter, then I can do a super where I summon meteors. And anyway, there's just this weird little aside where that's in the middle of this whole big story. And I was like,
I want to take some credit here for
a quick power second. Expert. Yeah, tell us about the powers.
No.
Let's see, correspondent power expert Zach.
No, not about that. Not about
that.
Okay. I was just saying, or I was thinking, excuse me, that earlier when he's gassing Feyre up, and then we get this scene,
right?
In my head, I'm like, oh, Feyre's finally gonna fucking fight somebody. Like Feyre's finally gonna be like physical, like use her powers physically. And then we get, the chapter that we read
Right.
in, a
Well,
few
she's
chapters.
already been in the hyperbolic time chamber and is like,
Right. And honestly, I've been kind of looking forward to that. Like, I'm like,
Yes.
hey, I'm excited to see her do something with this stuff.
no, she popped off, and she popped off hard,
she
and
does pop
I
off.
was way into it. I was way into her.
Well, I mean, I don't want
Right.
to put the cart before the
Yeah,
horse.
no,
I'm
no,
just saying,
no,
like,
you're right,
it was
you're
in
right,
this
right.
moment that I was like,
Okay,
like she's gonna do
okay.
something soon.
Hold on, back up. Let me clarify what this whole aside from you was there. You want to give yourself credit
Yeah,
for something
I
you
said that.
thought while reading this that then came true later.
Yeah.
Am I just getting okay?
Yeah. Is there a problem?
You know
Scott?
what? When I was reading this, I was thinking about how I was like, oh, I bet she's gonna grow some wings and like really tell Lucian to fuck off. I bet that's gonna happen. So you know what? I should really I just want to give myself.
Hey, well, you know what, fucker? I also called something at the end of last book that we learned to be.
Hold on. We're really putting the cards before the horse.
Yeah, well,
We'll
you're
get
being
to
a real
that.
fucking cunt about
I
it.
am.
So.
It's true. That was just too funny. I couldn't resist. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so he continues the story after the whole quarter circle power move info. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking through my notes here. I wasn't wholly truthful to you when I told you under the mountain that my father killed Tamlin's father and brothers. I went with him, helped him. We went out to the edge of the spring court. I slew Tamlin's brothers on sight. I held their minds and rendered them helpless while I cut them to pieces, then melted their brains inside their skulls. Rhys is so extra sometimes, and I do like that.
And like, also SJM's like, man, does she write romance good? But also like this is like I fucking punched him in the face and then broke his nose, and while he was on the floor, I stepped on him and like it was like, dang, dude, like we
Like
get it, man.
Like my daddy always used to say, there ain't no kill like overkill.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
And when I got to the High Lord's bedroom, he was dead. And my father had killed Tamlin's mother as well. He had promised not to touch her, that we weren't the kind of males who would do that. But he lied to me, and he did it anyway. Then we went for Tamlin's room. I tried to stop him. He didn't listen. He was going to kill him too. And after all that death, I was done. I didn't care that Tamlin had been there. I had allowed them to kill my mother and sister, that he'd come to kill me because he didn't want to risk standing against them. I was done with death. So I stopped my father before the door. He tried to go through me. Tamlin opened the door, saw us, smelled the blood, and I didn't even get to say a word before Tamlin killed my father in one blow.
Jesus.
So kind of gassing up Tamlin here too, because Rhys's father just killed Tamlin's father and his mother, and Tamlin fucks his shit up in one move.
Yeah. I mean, well, they killed Tamlin's parents like in their sleep.
I mean, it doesn't explicitly say that, but I have to assume, yes, there was an element of surprise assassination here.
But yes, I think that, yeah, he is giving him his flowers. Like Tamlin.
Yes. Well,
Tamlin
I mean,
can get down.
In the first book, he talked about how if Tamlin gets his powers back, he'll kill Amarantha in one blow. Basically, he'll like splatter her against the wall and all this shit. So
right, and I think it's like I think we can safely assume that like in a physical, like a showing of physical force.
Right.
I mean, Tamlin is probably the strongest.
Yes, I would say no magic allowed. Like, despite how Sarah J.M. never fails to tell us how ripped Rhys is, he would get destroyed by Tamlin in like a no magic allowed fight. Yeah, like if he's not using
shadow powers or like mind powers, and it's just like a physical like a fist fight, basically. Right. Yeah, Tamlin's fucking Rhys up, but that's not the case in this world. So Rhys, you know.
Anyway, I felt the power shift to me, even as I saw it to shift to him. That seems a little weird to me because the father was dead like several minutes prior.
Yeah, but
it
works better for the story.
So, yeah, okay,
you know.
fair enough. We just looked at each other as we were both suddenly crowned High Lord, and then I ran.
Yeah, he runs.
Yeah, he's not about fighting Tamlin in this moment, which is interesting. I wonder if that's like, were they like really good friends then? Like truly until this moment? And he just didn't want to fight him because of that.
That certainly makes the story and their relationship way more interesting if that's the case.
I honestly hope that's the case. I hope we're not getting the full depth of how close they were from Rhys here. Because, I mean, listen, honestly, that would make a lot of sense of why they hate each other so much now, is I feel like that correlates with them having strong feelings of, like and love for each other previously. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Like, that makes sense. So I hope that is the case. So this is, I think, Feyre thinking he'd murdered... Wait, no, this is Feyre thinking about Tamlin. He'd murdered Rhysand's family, the High Lord I'd loved. He'd murdered his friend's family. And when I'd asked about his family died, he'd merely told me a rival court had done it. Rhys had done it. And so she's going through all of this in her head, and this is where Rhys realized that he's like, oh, Tamlin didn't tell you any of this.
Yeah.
And she says she's sorry. Rhys says, what do you possibly have to be sorry for? She thinks about how terrible it is knowing all this now that Rhys thought she had been comparing the two of them. Which is, all kinds of fucked up.
Doesn't he make kind of just an off comment about how, what does he say? Something about like you've probably seen like their trophies in like the...
Oh, he does make some offhand comment about like...
You've probably seen them in their study or something like that.
They kept,
like a trophy, basically. Like, of their kills.
I think
right?
so.
Is that what it was talking about? Am I misremembering?
I can't remember. But that
seems
right, like that. But I'm not sure.
I was waiting for the ball to drop on that, like if she was going to remember something that she saw in book 1, like in the study, and be like, oh, that's what that was. But I mean, we didn't get that. I just when he said that, I was like, oh, like did we see something in passing, and now there's context to it,
Right. Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway,
this is more power stuff, so I'm sure you have this here. Do you want to tell us about?
I mean, she just. My note here on the powers is is more about Feyre,
right? That's
than
what
the
I'm
powers
about.
themselves. Like it's just like I like that she has this moment where she decides that she's going to fully own her powers.
Yes, she says the power did not belong to the High Lords, not any longer. It belonged to me.
Yes,
as I belonged only to me, as my future was mine to decide. Once I discovered and mastered what the others had given me, I could weave them together into something new, something of every court and none of them. So she's about to burn it all down and start her own shit, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, dude. The Church of Feyre.
Yes, exactly. And you know why, Zachary?
Why? Why,
because
Scotty?
she's a reincarnated, some kind of super Fey primordial being, 100%.
You think so still?
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know that
100%.
I buy that, but
she is. She's some kind of reincarnation.
hey man,
for
you
sure.
could be right. You could be right. She decides that she wants to paint again.
Paint. I'm going to paint you like one of my French girls.
And he goes, nude would be best.
This fucking guy.
What a fucking guy.
This
Come on.
fucking guy.
Oh my God. It's so
she's going to paint him like one of her French girls.
So fucking dumb. Yeah, so throughout their training, she gets tired. Like this is, I think, they're back at camp. And I just took a quick note of this. Like she emptied her cache of magic.
True.
Which means that it is like finite. Like
she's got a mana bar. Yeah, absolutely.
She's got a mana bar. They also learned that the Illyrians, that the women Illyrians that have been supposedly training after chores every day, have not actually trained in 10 days.
Yeah.
Because they've been spending all their time doing those chores.
Right.
And
but
Rhys
a couple
is not
of
happy
them
about this.
Do have like an aptitude for being a warrior. So I wonder if we'll meet them down the line.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
So this
is chapter 46 now, right? Or were you
yes,
already
I'm
into
sorry. No, you're right. Yes, after nude would be best. I'm sorry, was the end of the chapter.
Right.
Then chapter 46, which is a very short one. I don't have many notes for this at all.
No, I don't have here. Other than Feyre wants to bang so bad.
She
That's one
really
of my notes.
wants to fuck, and also there's there's a note where she's describing this stream that she's walking to, and Sarah J. Maas uses the adjective gushing.
Yeah, she does.
A gray gushing stream, and I was
Yeah,
like, dude,
does.
Feyre wants to fuck so
Feyre wants a gushing stream coming from her.
Yeah, it's very funny.
That's literally one of like two notes I have from chapter 46 is Feyre wants to bang so bad. And then the other note I have is we get the return of my goat, Zach.
We do get the return of your goat.
We get the return of my goat.
So Feyre is going into these woods around this gushing stream, and she hears the knock of some arrows. And they have spotted and there are now 4 spring court sentinels surrounding them.
Mm-hmm.
And my note is that Lucian's music I hear?
And his name is John C.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and
oh my god!
Go over here and let's just go
For
ahead.
The audio listeners, Scott has already jumped to our Hubie Corton graphic and is putting Lucian at the top.
Go ahead and put Lucian right there.
Fuck
All
off,
right, we're
Scott.
good. Yeah, it's the return of my goat, Lucian. I was so happy to see him. Things don't go so great for him, if I'm being totally honest. But I was still just overjoyed to see him again because it's been probably
it's been so
20,
long.
30 chapters since we've seen him.
And can I just say too, man, I've been interested enough in what's going on in this book to not feel this like, oh, I just need to know like what Lucian or Tamlin are doing,
Sure.
But boy, when he showed up, was I like, oh,
this was a hype moment.
Oh shit, this is so sick. Yes, we need this.
Chapter
we
40,
needed this.
Chapter 47 on, it was like just mostly hype, and we're in. It was like like these first couple chapters were like, okay, fine, things are happening. There's a couple sweet moments here, and there, whatever. 47 on is like nothing but bangers.
Dude,
it's just like
honestly though,
I was excited. I was like into the reading. I was like I was into it. And I was having a good time.
I'm so glad to hear you say that because I wanted to tell you, like, I wasn't just into it from a perspective of, like, this book or, like, this story. Like, I was reading these, like, dude, I'm into this. God damn this stupid graphic. I'm so into it.
Yes.
I was having so much fun.
I was having a very good time reading these chapters, 100%.
It also means that my notes weren't great because I was just shit. This.
I feel like we both might have suffered from that a little bit, but we'll do our best here. So that's how
47.
chapter 46 ends. Chapter 47 starts with Lucian telling her that they've been hunting for her for 2 months.
2 months.
Tam has not been the same. He tells her, Feyre, let's go home.
Let's go home. Tam says he's sorry.
I love what Feyre says here. She tells him, that stopped being my home the day you let him lock me up inside of it. It was a mistake, he says.
Yes.
We all made mistakes. He's sorry, more sorry than you realize. So am I. And he's kind of inching towards her while he's talking this.
She realized immediately.
Yes.
She realizes like her Illyrian training from Cassian kicks in, and she's like, he's trying to just touch me.
Right.
Just to winnow away.
He's like soothing a wild animal with Feyre, like here. He tells her, put the arrow down. She says, don't touch me. And Lucian says, you don't understand the mess we're in, Feyre. I need you home. Now.
I'm so confused and I want more information, like, so badly.
Well, yeah, okay. We'll talk about it. So Lucian tries to grab her, and she she winnows here, or is this some different power? It's almost like she's slowing down time.
Yes. So I don't know, dude, but it was cool as fuck, dude. I was so into this.
The world stilled and bent, and there was Lucian lunging so slowly for what was now blank space as I stepped around him. This sounds like she's slowing down time.
She's just in Ultra Instinct, dude.
She is. As I hurtled for the trees behind the sentinels, I stopped and time resumed.
But she
its
like
natural
turns into
flow.
smoke almost.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
She's using like all of fucking Alucard's powers from Symphony of the Night right here.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Lucian staggered, catching himself, whirled, and all of a sudden Rhys is now here beside her. I was like, when the fuck is Rhys gonna show up? It's here. Little Lucian, didn't the Lady of the Autumn Court ever tell you that when a woman says no, she means it? Lucian calls him a prick. You filthy whoring prick. He goes doubles up on the prick. He's like, I'm gonna give you both barrels. Double barrel prick eye.
Double barrel prick eye.
I'll give you the old double barrel prick eye. He looks at Feyre and says, what have you done? She says, don't come looking for me again. He'll never stop looking for you. Never stop waiting for you to come home.
Is this when she shapeshifts?
Yeah, very close here. Because Lucian asks her, what did he do to you? Did he take your mind? And Rhys says, enough. Feyre and I are busy. Go back to your lands before I send your heads as a reminder to my old friend about what happens when Spring Court flunkies set foot in my territory. Lucian is still pleading with Feyre. We are not your enemies. Things got bad. Ianthe got out of hand. But it doesn't mean you give up. She hits him back with, you gave up. You gave up on me. You were my friend and you picked obeying him. Even when you saw what his orders and his rules did to me, even when you saw me wasting away day by day. Lucian is like, you have no idea how volatile those first few months were. We need to present a united, obedient front. I was supposed to be the example to which all others in the court were held. She's not hearing it. Feyre says, you saw what was happening to me, but you were too afraid of him to truly do anything about it. It was fear. Lucian had pushed Tamlin, but to a point. I begged you so many times to help me, to get me out of the house, even for an hour, and you left me alone, or shoved me into a room with Ianthe, or told me to stick it out.
God.
It's very, very good.
It is such a good exchange.
It's such a good exchange, because then he tells her...
Is this the line where she says about being trapped in the darkness?
Yes, because Lucian asks her, and I suppose the Night Court is so much better, because again, no one knows what the Night Court truly
what
is.
Valarius is. Everybody just thinks it's the Court of Nightmares.
Right. She tells him, when you spend so long trapped in darkness, Lucian, you find the darkness begins to stare back.
Oh, it's such a good line.
Well, it's definitely pulled from somewhere. I've definitely heard that before. I feel like it's an Edgar Allan Poe thing or something.
It's so good.
But it's still good. It's still good. This is definitely not an original quote, but it's still good all the same.
And then she follows up with, the human girl you knew died under the mountain. I have no intention of spending immortality as a High Lord's pet.
Because he's like, what did you do to herself? Because she's popping, she's shapeshifting her wings out now at this point.
She's got wings.
She's, well, kind of, sort of. It doesn't seem like she actually... I feel like eventually she will figure out how to use them, surely. Yeah. Right now, she's just like, they're just like set dressing, you know?
She's just like, hey, check these fucking things out.
Check this shit out. And freaking out Lucian. This is really just her scaring Lucian.
And she says, if he sends anyone else into these lands, I will hunt each and every one of you down, and I will demonstrate what the darkness taught me.
That's the actual more banger of the line.
That is honestly the fucking banger, dude.
That is the banger line here in this
chapter. Oh, Feyre, dude.
That one goes hard.
She's such a badass.
There
I'm
was
so into this.
There was something like genuine pain on his face. I didn't care. That's also great. Because well, let's finish this up, then we'll talk about it.
So good.
Okay, this confused me a little bit. I just watched him unyielding and cold and dark. The creature I might one day have become if I had stayed at the Spring Court, if I had remained broken for decades, centuries, until I learned to quietly direct those shards of pain outward, learn to savor the pain of others. Is she saying this savor the pain of others thing? Is she saying that's what would have happened to her if she'd stayed at the Spring Court, or that is what is happening to her now? I'm confused by her
I think
phrasing.
she's saying that's what's happening to her now.
Yeah, that seems kind of fucked up.
It does seem kind of fucked up. But I mean, I think like it's a moment of rage for her.
No,
I feel
true.
Like.
I still don't know if you should ever savor
I could be
the pain
misunderstanding,
of others.
obviously.
Yeah, the way she phrased it, I was confused. So they basically they're leaving. Lucian lingers for a moment and says softly to Rhys, "You're dead. You and your entire cursed court." Shit.
I was not expecting this, dude.
I wasn't either. Like when they showed up, like when the Spring Quarters showed up, I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess it's on now. I didn't see this coming."
Yes, dude. That's exactly how I felt. This was a good, like, I mean, this was a very good verbal showdown. Like,
yes, 100%.
Oh man, I was so in.
A slight showcase of Feyre's growing powers too.
Yes.
That was sick,
and her confidence and her
her coldness.
Like, oh my god, dude, it's so good.
She was ice cold, dude. Okay, we have to talk about the Lucian here.
Oh my god,
because
the Lucian, he said.
the Lucian. I really damned and harped on Rhys last episode about how at the very least, if you give him the best possible reading, he is like complacent and complicit in the things that are happening in the Nightmare Court. So it would be very hypocritical of me if I did not also call out Lucian for him being complacent and complicit with what Tamlin, what Feyre is saying that Tamlin was doing to her, which I think is fair and true. Like the things Feyre is saying here is probably a little too harsh, but fair.
Yeah.
So I will own that. The difference is Lucian is not playing from the position of power that Rhys is. Like not even remotely
and also
close.
Lucian knew Feyre for a few months.
Yeah. Also, he's known Tamlin for way longer.
For hundreds of years, and he's also sworn his allegiance to him.
Right. So
it's a little different.
There's part of this where Feyre is like, "You picked him over me." And it's like, well, yeah, he's known Tamlin a lot longer. Also, he's sworn to him. Also, like, Tamlin, for all we know, would kill him if Lucian didn't, do as he was told. So there's part of this that's like, Feyre, you're not being entirely fair to Lucian. I think there's elements of perhaps he could have done more, Lucian. But he's in an extremely, I don't think she's fully appreciating the extremely difficult position that Lucian is in. But I did still mostly love all this about how just ruthless she was, because I think that needs to be done so Lucian will pass along to Tamlin how fucking serious she is. This isn't some passing fancy, her being with the Night Court, her, breaking off from Tamlin. This is she means this shit.
And also like there's a moment during this exchange where she talks about how she was the prize, like the something so valuable that they didn't want others to get. And it's like he is witnessing that now.
Yeah.
Like he is witnessing her coming into herself and like taking control of her powers, or,
Right.
Yeah, man, it's really good, dude. Feyre Feyre's doing the fucking thing, and I'm
Feyre is
like,
doing the
dude, I
fucking
just,
thing.
I can't, I don't know how else to articulate. Like, I just had such a good time reading this. It was so out of left field and so what I didn't realize I needed for this book to feel like it's, things are happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck. It was great.
I will say this, as cool as I think her really popping off later, like in a more like physical way, like with her powers and shit later, I think I enjoyed her popping off in this verbal exchange even more. Like, even considering the fact that she is mostly just like really letting my boy Lucian have it and like really hitting him hard, I still think I loved this even more than like her popping off with like the powers later is cool and all. But this is the shit right here. This is good.
Well, I mean, when you get dialogue from two loved characters, it's like it's so much more
and
entrancing and
dialogue.
Intense than her killing cannon fodder, basically.
True.
So
that's a good point. The last thing that happened in this chapter is Rhys is like, "The fuck are those wings, girl? Like, what the hell?" And she kind of admits to him that it was shape-shifting, a gift from Tamlin that I had not wanted or needed until now. There's a little bit of like my notes are a little bit of a mess here.
You're good.
Oh yeah, so he picks her up and is gonna fly her off. They need to get out of there. He asks her if she's all right, and she nestles into his warmth, savoring it. The fact that it was so easy that I felt so little upsets me more than the encounter itself. So there is an element here of a little bit of regret about the way she did these things, which I also like. Again, I feel like Feyre's self-awareness is great.
I don't think it's so much regret as it is like she realizes,
it scares her a little.
And she cares for Lucian.
Definitely.
And I think that she just feels not regret, but maybe a little bit of remorse that like it has to be this way.
Right. No, for sure. I think you're right. I think that's a good call out.
But I enjoyed this exchange so much.
It was very good.
Anything else you wanted to say about chapter 47?
Not chapter 47. No.
Okay. All right.
Oh boy.
All right.
Boy. Chapter 48 is a thing.
8 is definitely a thing. And for those of you who are following along, who have read the book and maybe not are reading along with the book, this is the famed, as I'm told, the famed inn scene.
Yeah. The attic. In attic, basically.
The attic.
Yeah.
This is...
Zach's gonna have us spend 2 hours on this chapter alone, I have a feeling.
Man, look, I'm gonna get out ahead of this and say that I was into a lot of things here, but also there were a lot of things that took my ass way the fuck out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Let's talk about it.
Because of that, I had a lot of fun because I was laughing at a lot.
I also had a ton of fun with this chapter.
Okay, fuck yeah, dude. All right, so first off, my first note, tiny room. Oh, there's only one bed? Classic. Classic.
My note is very similar. I was like, tiny room, one bed. Feyre is just like, well, I guess we'll have to warm each other with body heat.
I guess we're going to have to fuck.
What can you do? Nothing can be done about it.
Yeah. So my notes are a little sporadic. If you wanna fill some of the gaps in, obviously, then go ahead. But she decides on a name for her painting.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
And
about
I think
that.
it's a cool name.
The Dark Warrior or something like that.
it's called Death on Swift Wings.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty fucking cool, man.
It's pretty edgelord-esque.
It's pretty edgelord. It'd
It's
make a
pretty
good song
edgelord.
title or something.
It would make a great emo sound. Yeah, that would be a song like a
I'm gonna write that
15-year-old
song.
Zach is definitely listening to.
I'm gonna write that song for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what she's gonna name the painting. There's a moment where he is like she's looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this dialogue because to be seen is to be loved, Scott.
Yes, you
And
tell
he
me that
says-
all the time.
I do. He says, "I love when you look at me like that, like my power." And she's like what? And he's like my power isn't something to run from.
Oh,
Like
true.
you see me.
He doesn't
and
like
I'm-
that she's not scared of him, or he does like
No,
that.
he
she's
lo-
not-
he loves
yeah,
that.
That's
He-
what I
he
that's what I
loves
meant to
it.
say. I just
Yeah,
misspoke.
okay. And I like that. I think that there's like some really beautiful, honest dialogue between them, and then
And then
and then there's some stuff that's just so fucking ridiculous.
okay, well we'll get to this. That I want to call out another I think
Okay,
honest
please.
and nice bit of dialogue between
Okay.
them. Feyre
Sure.
asks him, "Did you think I would go with him?"
oh my god, yes, I love this.
I knew you would like this. I
Oh
heard
my God, I
every
have
word
this whole
between
quote.
you, and I knew you would take care of yourself, and yet I found myself deciding that if you took his hand, I would find a way to live with it. It would be your choice.
Okay,
You're all-
pause.
You're all about the Rhys and the choice, I know.
The choice. I
Yeah.
just think that there's something so like look, dude. For my astrology girlies out there, I'm a fucking Cancer. Okay?
Is that
and
what
I'm
I am
just
too?
like,
'Cause
I'm
our
just-
birthdays are very close.
Yeah, you're a Cancer also.
Okay.
But you're not a Cancer.
Hell yeah!
You are not a fucking Cancer.
Astrology proven wrong. Scotty West Side. Let's go.
But everything that's like textbook Cancer, I'm a fucking Cancer.
What would I be then?
You'd be a piece of shit. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. That's my
No,
favorite
I mean,
star. The piece of
aren't
shit.
Aries aren't pieces of shit, but you'd probably be an Aries or
Okay.
a Taurus.
Oh, Ares, the god of war. He's cool.
Anyway, so I just like this whole like giving her agency and like knowing that he loves her so much, but also like the whole trope of like, if you love me, let me go.
Right. Yeah.
It just like it does something to me. dude.
You
It does something to me, dude.
you call that out every time this has come up.
It really does.
You are consistent in that, and I'll give you that.
It
it's
really just works, man.
it's good stuff. So she continues. She asks him, and if he had grabbed me,
Oh,
then I would have torn apart the world to get you back.
and I came.
Yeah.
Right then, I fucking came.
I would have fired at him if he had tried to hurt you. I know.
Ugh. I love them, dude.
Yeah.
I love them. I love him. I
So,
love
okay.
Feyre.
My whole thing with this chapter that I was going to say is, whereas I feel like you were way into the nightmare court scene, them grinding all over each other, and
Sure.
him getting up all in that wetness. That was just really corny and lame to me, and just like, I'm not about this. Whereas this was like this whole chapter was very intimate, very sweet.
Yeah.
Like this, I was like, okay, this I'm here for them doing this kind of things. For us
Okay.
having
Look.
having a sexy chapter like this, because it's way more. I feel like it means so much more. Call me old fashioned, I don't
Oh
like
my
I don't
God.
like
Okay.
being fingered in front of the entire court.
Okay. Here are my thoughts on that. So
okay.
I feel like I need to defend myself.
Nope.
For a
you loved
second.
it. You loved it.
But two, no, I mean I did love it.
yeah. Okay. There
But
it is.
I'm defending why. If you go your entire relationship or romantic encounter only wanting the intimate and deep, passionate, which, hey, I mean, I think passion should be like there in every encounter, but like not everything. Like, dude, sometimes you just gotta be sexy, dude.
What
sometimes,
I'm trying to say is, if you don't let yourself get fingered in public every once in a while, you're just not living.
No. I'm just saying that like the whole throne room sequence was like, that was hot, dude. Like there was an element of like dominant and submissive, and like it was just hot. It was like tell me to sit and I'll fucking sit.
I've never read it, but
hot.
I feel like you would love 50 Shades of Grey, is what this is telling me. Like you would eat that shit up.
Probably. I have a funny story about that for the Patreon. Maybe for the Patreon.
Okay, wow, fuck.
Yeah, just remind me of that. Remind me of that next time.
You're gonna tease me like Rhys got teased here.
No, yeah, I'm just like, it was just sexy, dude. Like the tension was there. I'm not saying that like I like that or like I'm so into that aspect of their relationship. This was romance, and I loved it. This was intimate and passion and like and honest, I feel like.
Yes.
And I like this just as much. But not every time that you have sex is going to be that. Sometimes you just got to get a little nasty.
Sometimes you got direct quote from Zachy Boy.
Put that on my tombstone. Put it on a shirt.
Sometimes you got to get a little nasty.
You just got to get a little fucking dirty, dude. A little slop.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, listen. I definitely did, to your point, I definitely did laugh and chuckle a couple times during this chapter. But for the most part, it was very sweet. It was very intimate. I enjoyed it.
Okay, I have a couple things.
Yeah, so, hit me.
The last like honest, like, oh my God, I love this note that I had was, then I would have torn apart the world to get you back.
Right.
I love that.
And the rest is all dirty, dirty smut that we're
and the rest is oh my God. So Rhys first says, this room is too small for me to properly bed you, even with the wings.
He does indeed say that.
And I have a note that says, AKA, what he's really saying is, this room doesn't have enough space for me to fuck you good. AKA,
he can't get enough leverage.
I have a giant cock, and my thrust would not fit in this tiny space. He's like, I gotta fucking load that bitch up, dude.
Like, see the hog. Like, if I pulled it out, it wouldn't even fit in this room,
dude. Oh my God!
Let me get it inside you. That's so funny.
It's fucking bad.
There's this whole bit. I don't know if this is before or after, about she starts playing with his wings.
Oh my God! Wait, I'm not there yet.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, continue.
Jesus, don't get me started on the wings, bro.
I'm gonna get you started on the wings.
Fucking wings.
That's how they get started.
So, so they start spooning.
Hot.
And yeah, spooning's hot.
Big spoon, little spoon, good stuff.
Yeah, being the big spoon and like reaching an arm
around to the boob to cup.
Yeah, to the boob. He says yes.
To the boob. What? What? It's okay for you to go like this, like
to the boob.
To the boob. The breasticles, as we call them.
The breasticles. Yeah. So they're spooning, and of course, he smells of citrus and the sea.
Oh, always of citrus and the sea.
Of course he does.
What fucking like soap or cologne is this guy? I need to know. What is his like? What is his like
anal
moisturizing
glands
routine?
when they just emit this fucking citrus and sea smell, dude?
I don't understand where the sea comes from. That should be like Tarkin. Tarkin should smell like the sea.
I'm so confused.
Also, citrus does not grow like in cold weather climates. Neither of these make sense.
It's very, I mean, hey man, it sounds nice.
He should smell of like pine and like a cold winter stream
and
or
tobacco.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. So here's where I was taken out.
Okay.
I was into their spooning.
Into that, yeah.
But then he reaches over and he touches her breast and he starts playing with her nipple.
He does do that.
And he says, quote, This is a quote, Scott, directly from the book.
Yeah,
I'm not exaggerating.
Uh-huh.
He touches her nipple and he says, "I love these."
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea how much I love these.
I'm sure I have that one here somewhere, but I don't have it. That one definitely took my ass
He
out
walked
as well.
into this girl's room and was like, "Oh, hey, you collect my favorite Legos. I love these. These are my favorite things, my favorite toys to play." Like
This is something you say with the girl you like puts on a movie that you're like, "Oh my god, you have no idea how much I love this movie." I love.
Dang, how'd you know I love?
How'd you know? I fucking god.
You got Nerds gummy clusters? I fucking love these.
You have no idea how much I love these. God,
Dude,
yes.
oh my God.
This line absolutely
I
destroyed
picture him
my
like
ass.
tic-tacking, like a little tic-tac on the fucking nipple. Like he's just, man, I fucking love these. Dude.
You've got no idea, Feyre. That's my favorite part of the lines. You have no idea how much
I love these.
That's
it is
so funny.
So ridiculous.
Yes.
But also, same.
Yeah.
Same, Rhys.
I mean,
I
listen.
feel that.
I feel like it doesn't need to be said. It's just understood, my guy.
Yeah. Okay, so she starts touching his wings.
Yeah, she starts putting her cold hands all over his wings.
And I love that she
calls him a baby for it. I love that.
Well, I love that she starts with one finger the way that a man would usually start with a woman.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, and then I put two fingers.
And then she starts using her nails too. Don't forget about that. She starts scraping that nail.
I can't, dude. I can't. It's so funny. It's so funny, but also it's like I'm supposed to feel like, dang, dude, like that's pretty hot. And like, sure, it is pretty hot and they're being super intimate, but also it is just very funny that she's like playing with his wings.
Yes.
And he's like, dude, I'm gonna come. Stop.
Truly. Can I, right before she adds the second finger, can I tell you, I think my favorite line?
Yeah, sure.
From this chapter? Maybe. I had many favorite lines. First, she calls him a baby, a sensitive baby. And then sliding another finger down the inside of his wing. Something hard pushed against my behind.
Dude.
Love that she calls it her behind, by the way.
My behind.
My behind. Hold on. It keeps going. Heat flooded me, and I went taut and loose all at once.
Dude.
I love that phrasing
Taut.
so much. I went taut and loose all at once. And then she has the second finger. I stroked his wing again, 2 fingers now. And he twinched against my backside.
No
in
lube
time
either.
With
just,
the caress.
Just going in with 2 fingers.
That's a
dude.
good old dry humpy. Oh, you meant the fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're cold. They're too cold. They're like cold and dry. I don't know about this whole thing.
Yeah, it's so yeah. Look, I'm not saying I didn't like it. Like you all know, if you're this far into this episode, you all know Scott and I have never read something like this. So like the wing thing is just different.
It's well, I'm guessing most of normal romance novels, they don't talk about sensitive wings.
Well,
I think this is
but
exclusive to
maybe
romantasy.
Romantasy, yeah. Like I've heard some weird stuff. Anyway,
well, then it kind of turns bad here for a second because she hits him with I want a distraction. I want fun. And his body.
He's asking her, "What do you want?" He's biting her neck, and
Yes.
he's like, "What do you want?"
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that. He's biting her neck and asking her.
And that's, I mean, hey, dude, that's pretty hot.
No, I'm legitimately, yeah. How can I forget that? He tenses, and she thinks, I wondered if he somehow didn't see it for the lie it was. But I don't think that's what he's like.
No, yeah.
Made distraught by this. This is not what he wants to hear.
Right.
This is not like fun is not what he is looking for.
No.
But he recovers and tells her, then allow me the pleasure of distracting you. And then Zach, boy, there are some great,
which is an all-timer, by the way. That's a great response.
That's a great response. Again, I'm sure this is par for the course for romance and romantasy or whatever these type of chapters. But again, to Zach's point, we have never read anything like this. So I have to call out a couple of these because they're just very fun. His fingers plunged in and out, slow and hard, and my very existence narrowed to the feel of them, to the tightness in me ratcheting up with every deep stroke.
He was hard as granite behind me.
That's a good one. By the way, not as hard as diamond. She specifically calls out the second hardest mineral known to man, granite, not diamond. So part of her is thinking, oh, he can get harder.
Yeah, she's like, man, that dude Edward Cullen from Twilight, that guy's hard as diamond.
That guy's hard as diamond. He's only granite. Only granite.
That's so funny, dude.
The sound of my name on his lips was my undoing.
Oh, that was a good line. That was a good one.
These are all great lines. What are you talking about?
Okay, all right.
Release barreled down my spine, and I cried out, only to have his lips cover mine as if he could devour the sound.
Ooh.
He swore again, breathing hard. Fingers stroking me through the last throes of it until I was limp and trembling in his arms. I wanted to do that when I felt how drenched you were at the court of nightmares. This was what Zach wanted to. I wanted to have you right there in the middle of everyone, but mostly, this is great, but mostly I just wanted to do this. His eyes held mine as he brought those fingers to his mouth and sucked on them, on the taste of me. The very next line, by the way, right after he does this, Feyre says, I was going to eat him alive.
I mean, hey,
I think that's the line that made me laugh hardest in this chapter. Just her seeing this and just thinking, I'm going to devour this fucker.
I'm going to absolutely fucking lunch on this guy.
Yeah. I'm going to lunch.
This dude is going to be fucking eaten.
True.
Okay, there was one small line.
Okay.
That in my head, I was like, okay.
Okay, what was it?
So he's teasing
Zach's
her.
taking notes for later? Is that what we're...
I mean, hey, dude, I have an entire OneNote Microsoft OneNote open that I could pull from.
For sure.
He's teasing her.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants it, and she wants it, and she wants it. And then she says, please.
Uh-huh.
And he says, there are those missing manners. And then he fucking...
How does that go again?
Dude, oh, man.
Well, yeah, because he accused her earlier of not having any manners when she was, like, playing with his wing, I think.
Yeah, there are those missing manners, and then he fucking gives it to her. So I fuck with that. But
the rub of this whole thing is that he's like, no, I'm a giver only, baby. I'm not. How does he phrase it here? I slid a hand up his chest to pin him down, but he gripped my wrist. When you lick me, he said roughly, I want it to be alone, far away from everyone. Because when you lick me, Feyre, I'm going to let myself roar loud enough to bring down a mountain. Very next line part from Feyre. I was instantly liquid again. What is the bowels turning to water thing? Was that this book?
No, that was last book.
Okay. Well, I'm saying this book series, I guess. So yeah, this is just her loins turning to water again.
Uh-huh. And when I lick you, I want you splayed out on a table like my own personal feast.
That's so funny.
Hey man, that one's going in the notes.
Is he gonna eat sushi off her too? Like,
dude,
you know how they do?
Well, it's more like an ice cream because he keeps talking about licking.
He does. There's a lot of licking involved.
A lot of licking.
He'll bite too. He's a biter. He was nipping at her neck.
Hey, I bite my ice cream.
I said that so matter of factly. Oh, hey, I bite my ice cream.
Okay, and then so she wants to keep going, and he says, "Oh man, all right." And then it gets a little dirty, and I love it. And he says,
Yeah, it does.
"They're home for the evening. I have no intention of doing it all in one night, or in a room where I can't even fuck you against the wall."
He wants to do the old pin her up against the wall, the one-hander stand her up.
In a room where I can't even fuck you against the wall. I was like, I need a break. I need a break from this book for a minute.
I need a break. I had to go cool off. I had to take a cold shower.
I need to take a walk for a minute, dude. She does say, there's some stuff here in between, but she says, I had to get that considerable length inside of me.
Uh-huh. Yes, she does.
Good for him, man.
He remained long and hard against me. I had to feel him to get that considerable length inside of me. But then he just like hypnosises her or something. He's like, sleep, and starts petting her, and she just immediately falls
And she's
asleep.
like, oh shit, man.
Like,
I just came and I need to go to bed now.
She just is out. She just conks out immediately.
Yeah, dude, it's something.
Which all this, Zachary, I feel like this what Rhys does here at the end of this chapter, this can only mean one thing. Make sure I do this right, because I did prepare this in advance. I have to give Rhys the Gooning Champ 2024 award.
Oh my god, what is it?
Because when I read this, I was like, oh, my man is a champion for just like, nah, I'm gonna just let myself be for the night. This is a Gooning champion. Rhys, Gooning champion 2024. I had the thought
real recognizes real.
Real recognizes real for sure. I had the thought of, it'd be really funny if I could pop up like a just like a Gooning champion picture here. And I've talked about it before, but AI is so funny to me, and this is what it spit out when I told it what I wanted. So that's amazing. Rhys is our Gooning champ 2024. And yeah, we'll just pop that up, have that up there for the rest of the episode. Yeah, did you have anything? Isn't that amazing?
No, I didn't have anything else. But as if this like batch of chapters couldn't have gotten better though. Or maybe not better, but just like it couldn't have
continued the momentum.
Yeah. We go right into chapter 49, which is another fucking banger of a chapter.
Yeah, it kind of starts off on a down note between them, though.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. Feyre is distraught over this.
Yes, I think that there's just like a lot of confusion. Like there's no time for them to process together.
They are not communicating.
They're not communicating. Right, yes.
Because they wake up all lovey and cozy. Feyre asks him, why did you make that deal with me? The 1 week a month deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her it was to make a statement to Amarantha, to piss off Tam, and to keep her alive in a way that would still seem cruel or something like that.
Right.
And then he's like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for my people and my family. And she comes back with, oh. just an O.
Not the answer I was looking for.
Not the answer Feyre was. Yeah, if she comes back with an O, that is not what she wanted to hear. She thinks that she's just been a pawn in his game this whole time. And I'm like, come on, Rhys, you were doing so well in the last chapter. I just made you, because I stopped here to make the Gooning Champ 2024 award. I was like, I just made you a Gooning Champ award. And then you come back and do this, you fucker. Come on, my guy.
Uh-huh.
You're better than this.
Right.
Anyway, what happens next sec?
Yeah, so they're flying.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, there's one more story that I need to tell you. And
convenient interruption.
Yeah, very conveniently timed interruption. He says her name, Feyre.
Uh-huh.
And then,
well, first of all, when he hesitates, she tells him specifically, she's like, "Don't worry, I won't walk away from you." She like gives him some reassurance, which is nice.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. Rhys arches in pain though.
Which I kind of just realized what happens at the end of these chapters after her saying this is kind of ironic, actually. Anyway, sorry, continue. That just hit me.
Oh, is that must be what he was going to tell her, right?
I think so.
I mean, I sure hope so. So yeah, he arches in pain. And she begins to notice
not in pleasure this time, which is
not in pleasure this time. I mean, he didn't get much. Well, I guess he got the wing touching.
I guess he got the wing. Gooning champ 2024.
Yeah, that's why he didn't want to have sex, because he had already come in his pants.
Oh, you think so? Well,
yeah,
he was still hard though.
I guess that's
she
true.
wanted that
He would have been too
length.
sensitive.
Maybe.
Yeah. Dude. That does get you.
It's way too sensitive.
I can't handle that right now. I'm gonna start fucking laughing.
I'll
with
just
how fucking sensitive that
tickling.
is. She starts to realize that there are arrows whizzing past them, and he has been shot by them.
And through him, yeah.
Yeah. He has been shot by ash arrows that are coated with poison.
Yeah.
And as he begins to descend, he throws Feyre to try and, in an effort to get her away from whatever is happening.
Right.
She creates this kind of like force field, like another like invisible barrier to help catch her as she's falling. She falls into the trees.
Yeah, because this would have been a great time for her to figure out how to fly if she can indeed do that in the future, but she can't.
Yeah. She just, her skill meter hasn't, she hasn't like leveled up that skill tree yet.
She hasn't gone down the Illyrian wing skill tree. Yeah.
And then we get just like straight up predator mode.
For real.
Feyre.
Predator mode Feyre.
It's kind of sick. She catches herself in the trees and she's just like clinging to these trees and like winnowing through them.
She shapeshifts herself some like night eyes, like some fucking cat night vision eyes.
Straight the fuck up, dude. She's like, "Hey, I can't see real good. Let me just make some new eyes."
Hey, I can't see you good. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there? Yeah. No, she straight up gives herself night vision eyes because she's like, I need that, so I'll just do it.
Yeah. It's very cool. Boy, her time in the hyperbolic time chamber has really been beneficial for her.
Yeah, there is a little bit here where she's like, both the times I had winnowed before, it was due to anger, so I'm pretty fucking angry right now, so maybe I can winnow. And yeah, she's like winnow master.
She's
now.
just a fucking expert now. Yeah. She is going only short distances.
That's
to
true.
Be fair.
That's true.
But
it's
she's
like
basically
an air dash. If this was a Metroidvania,
honestly,
this would be her air dash.
Honestly, it's just like the cloak in fucking Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, exactly.
Yeah, it's very cool. So she's going from tree to tree, basically winnowing through this forest. And she is noticing like sounds of a beast beneath her.
Well, yeah, it's night now, and there's all kinds of beasts in the forest.
She also begins to hear shrieking that is not Rhysand. It's something else, which is also like, what in the fuck is out here?
Some fucked up creatures.
So she goes, again, I said this already, she goes predator mode. She's hunting. Yeah. I mean, she is tracking Rhys. And she eventually finds his blood spatter. She does come across a cave where she realizes where Rhysand is being kept.
Hold on a second, Zach. You're missing a key detail here.
Oh, okay. All right. Correct me, please.
Well, first of all, she's like, Feyre's in full on bloodthirsty mode because she thinks to herself that if Rhys is dead, she's like, I'm slaughtering each and every one of these fuckers. What's funny is she slaughters each and every one of those fuckers, even though he's not dead also. But no, they split up in order to throw people off the track. And she thinks that, they must have taken Rhys's clothes one way because I can smell Rhys in both directions. And do you remember how she figures out which way is the right way?
Because she smells her fucking pussy on him, dude. She's like, hey,
she does.
That smells like last night.
That smells like last night. That bitch did not shower this morning. I can smell.
She's like, hold on. Oh, yeah, it's that way.
She literally is like, oh, my love juice is on him. I can
Dude.
smell it. I can smell that shit. That's so funny. Sorry,
So,
continue.
I'm so glad you pointed that out because
Yeah. That's so good. It's so good.
So she arrives at this cave, realizes that he's being kept in the cave, and hears, people inside of it. So she then goes like straight up Ninja Gaiden. What's that word?
Ninja Gaiden. Yeah. No, she hasn't gone down the Illyrian wing skill tree at all, but this is like the very last upgrade you get in like the Shadow Assassin skill tree.
Truly.
She is just like chaining throat slits together while she just winnows around. I'm like, yeah, I've done this. Like, this is the final upgrade you get in some game. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very cool.
With her makeshift daggers that she just like made out of a couple ash arrows, by the way.
Dude, it really is fucking sick.
She's fucking popping off big time.
So to paint an actual picture, what is happening here? She is essentially like creeping through this cave, like winnowing, like shadow winnowing, dematerializing into this like shadowy stuff, and then like honestly, the way that I pictured it is like how the Death Eaters like,
sure, I can see that.
like kind of fly in like with the smoke and whatever. She's doing that and just appearing next to people and slitting their throat and then
and
doing it again.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Oh, it's so
That's what I
sick.
said. She's just chaining these throat slits together like it ain't no thing.
Yeah, dude. Fucking insane combo. The truest combo that has ever lived.
It's true.
And she just
major
there's no
bonus points
conversation.
for this.
There's no confrontation. She just kills them.
She just kills them all.
She just kills them all.
Literally, like effortlessly too. By the way.
And she stumbles upon Rhysand, and she begins to try and well, first off, she unchains him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
She's got some weird fucked up chains on him that he tells her like from the the KOH later or something like that.
Yeah, the KOH. So she takes him out of the chains. He's got these arrows in his wings, and she realizes like, I need to get these things out because they're coated in poison and they're ash, and they're hurting his ability to like use his magic. So there's this like pseudoscience like thing that she's like, I can't just pull them out.
Oh,
I can't just break them.
Pseudoscience.
I know. I'm being a dick. She can't just break them and then pull them out because she's worried about ash wood splinters
that is
being
what
in
you
his
do,
wings.
though. But she's like, no, I gotta cut them.
I have to cut them. It has to be a clean cut,
right?
So there's no splinters left in his wings.
Because they're made of ash, and you won't.
Because they're made of ash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she.
By the way, hold up.
Yeah.
I want to back up to something I forgot real quick. Feyre is so top level in this while chaining these shadow throat slits. She even reshape shifts her eyes because it's like mid combo. She's like, oh, it's bright in this cave. My fucking night vision eyes are like blinding me. And literally mid shadow throat slit combo, like shapeshifts her eyes back to like whatever, like light vision.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, Feyre?
She is she's definitely leveled up.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I think anger might really be her power source.
Yeah, so she okay, look, I'm gonna kind of speed through some of this. So she gets the arrows out. She starts telling him a story of like, painting and her, her and her sisters. If you would like to touch on any of this. Okay, all right, then go ahead.
Well, we talked about this in the very first episode because she talked about how she'd painted on Elaine's drawer.
Yes.
There was like flowers on Nesta, there were flames, and for her it was like an open night sky. And I seem to recall, in that first episode, we were like, "Oh, symbolism," which it basically 100% is. Nesta was fiery, and
I should give it more credit because that is one of those things that we were like, it's gonna mean something,
right? No, I'm not making too much fun of it.
No, yeah, definitely, but we definitely were like, this is going to mean something,
yeah.
And it was subtle enough, though, that like we've read how much of this fucking book and did not think about that, but getting the little nugget now is
True.
Hey, that's
we had forgotten about it, and it comes
Yeah.
back around. You're like, oh, that's cool. No, 100%.
Yes, yeah, 1000%.
I did specifically want to call out this line because I think this is great. Nesta, I painted flames for her. She was always angry, always burning. I think she and Amren would be fast friends. And I'm like, I need to see that now more than anything.
Yeah, truly.
I think she would like Valeris despite herself, and I think Elaine would like it too. Though she'd probably cling to Azriel just to have some peace and quiet. I smiled at the thought at how handsome they would be together if the warrior ever stopped quietly loving more. I doubted it. Azriel would likely love more until he was a whisper of darkness beneath the stars. And now I'm just like, oh, now I need to see Azriel and Elaine together. Now you made me want that, Feyre. Because Morgan, he needs to give up on Morgan. That's never happening. I'm sorry, my guy.
You don't think she'll come around?
You're in the friend zone way too deep.
Yeah, probably.
He is in like the 1,000-year friend zone.
Yeah, probably, man. You're probably right.
No, 100%. Also, I now more than anything need to see Nesta and Amren talking together.
Honestly, though.
That's just, I need that.
I would love to be a fly on the wall for a Nesta Amren Morrigan scene.
True.
Yeah.
Too bad she's never going to give us those together.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so she gets the arrows out of the wings. He's in bad fucking shape.
Yeah.
Realizes that he's not going to be able to do anything. So she tries to winnow them.
Yep.
And she does winnow and takes Rhysand along. But she can't go far. She winnows them to another cave.
Mm-hmm.
That's not far away.
Well, that was before she started pulling out the arrows.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I had those two things flipped. Either way, so they're in this other cave now. We learn now that the KOH those were Hybern soldiers, and that the chains that were holding him were from KOH himself.
They were sea prison
basically
stones. Chains.
Exactly.
They nullified his
powers. Yes,
yeah.
That's a One Piece reference for our
they know. Come on,
One Piece fan in our audience.
Me, literally just me.
And that's the end of chapter 49. Did you have anything for chapter 50?
Yeah, hold on. There was a good bit you missed here, where she's talking about how she had drawn the night sky for herself. I wonder if some part of me knew what was waiting for me. That I would hang on, I'm paraphrasing here. I wonder if even in my despair and hopelessness, I was never truly alone. I wonder if I was looking for this place, looking for you all. And then, like, right before Rhys passes out, he tells her that he was looking for her too. And I'm shocked that you missed that because you love lovey-dovey stuff between Rhys and Feyre.
You're right. I should have taken a note of it. I'm going to be honest. This was a long batch of chapters, and it definitely got to where I was like. Also, I was just like genuinely like, oh my god, I'm enjoying this, and I just want to keep going. True. Like, I was taking less and less notes.
I just have to give you shit because it's required by law. So
yeah, there we go.
My hands are tied.
Chapter 50. Yeah, I've got like 6 lines on this.
Yeah, very, very, very few from these last 2.
Correct. Yeah. So they're still in the cave. Homeboy's in bad shape. He's poisoned. And she decides, dude, like she starts to realize I can't just stay here trying to take care of him. Like, I need to get out. Like, I need to go either get help, figure out a cure, something. Like, I need to take action. I can't just sit here.
This is not an idea I would have thought of, to be honest. Because I forgot about what all she needed to attract the Suriel. And apparently it's just like a nice cloak or something.
Yeah, it's basically like, I guess I don't recall exactly what the parameters of the Suriel catching techniques are.
I don't remember either. But I was into this. I was excited to see the Suriel again.
I was super excited to see the Suriel again. And I also like, I need another Suriel scene after this. Like the cereal is giving a lot, I feel like.
He's giving.
And I don't know if the cereal's just giving because Sarah J. Maas just needed like a plot device to give, or if it's like the cereal is invested.
I think it finds Feyre Cursebreaker very interesting, and maybe that's part of it.
And I like that. I think it's a cool interaction.
No, 100%.
So she bundles him up, heads out, lays a trap, catches the cereal, and the cereal's like, oh, it's you.
You. Shit.
Hey, you are something else. You are so different. You look way different than the last time you caught my ass.
What fascinating changes a year has wrought on you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, she's like, yo, the glow up? It's fucking working, girl. So she asks, hey, what is the poison? And the poison is a poison called Bloodbane.
Yeah, doesn't sound
which literally any fantasy ever, there's a poison with something Bane. Blank Bane. Wolf's Bane. Although I think that's a cure in Harry Potter, but yeah. I was like, this is the most textbook and standard poison name ever.
True.
And she's like, you only have one more question, so you better fucking use it wisely.
She gets like 6 more questions.
Yeah, I know. And Feyre's like, where can I find the cure? Classic mistake.
Gotta be more specific.
Come on,
Feyre. Is this your first day at cereal camp?
Yeah, dude. Have you never summoned a genie before?
Are you like to cereal, Feyre? Come on.
Yeah.
In the forest, isn't that what it says?
Yeah, she's like, yeah, it's in the forest. And she's like, God damn it.
Fucking hell.
Hey, she tries her luck. Well, hey, what is the cure? And the cereal is like your blood. You have the healing properties of the High Lord of
Dawn. I got this because the Dawn Court is my second favorite court, as you recall.
Yes, of the Dawn Court, a few mouthfuls of your blood should do the trick.
This is giving me such heavy Underworld vibes. Just like
actually,
this exact thing happens, and I think the second or maybe both Underworld movies, I don't know. She's always given him her blood, so he keeps living.
Yeah. No, you're right. And then the cereal just gives her a freebie as she's walking away. And she tells her, there's a pink weed to basically to like speed up the healing of your mate.
I thought you were going to talk. Oh yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the other freebie. No, dude, this is just where we find out the cereal is an Aussie. She's like, "Hey, mate,
your mate.
Hey, mate, you want some of that pink weed?"
She's like, "Nar."
I don't think
No, not that one. Not that way.
That's not an Aussie accent.
Yeah, it is, man.
Oi, mate. Go get you some of that pink weed.
So yeah, she lets slip that
I don't think the cereal let slip anything.
No, I know. Okay, so here so I was texting our friend Dom earlier about this.
Yeah.
And Dom expressed a little bit of frustration with me.
Okay.
That I was not super like, oh my God, that they are mates, like the reveal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously not giving Dom shit. Like, she's like, well, like you didn't, like, it just seems like you didn't care.
Well, it's because you predicted it.
Well, and that's what I said. And I didn't want to be too like, oh, well, I fucking knew that, you know? But like,
I mean, to be fair though, you did actually.
I did though.
Which is why, Zach, hang on. I have to give you.
Oh, you have something for me?
Prediction champ 2024.
Oh, look at that. That's funny.
Because you did. You straight up 100% called this. So good job. Good on you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, okay. First off, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. That's funny. That's very nice of you. For our audio listeners, he made a nice, cute graphic on screen.
Yeah, very cute, very nice.
Yeah.
Prediction champ 2024.
Prediction champ, apparently. Yeah. So
Yep.
it just fit. I was like, I
No, it
bet
did.
anything. I will say, however, what was more, and like not shocking, because at this point I kind of like I think we all just kind of know, but my prediction then was like, I think the way that we're understanding the idea of like mates is that somebody can be your mate, but you may not be their mate, right? Like it's not it's not two ways.
Oh, is that what you're still getting from it, or were you saying that's what you were getting from it before?
That, like, my prediction then was like, maybe he has like, I think the word I was using then was from Twilight.
Yes, it was
imprinting.
Imprint. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe he had like imprinted on her in that moment,
Right?
but this reveal has solidified that like they are mates with each other.
100%.
So that to me is actually a big reveal and is sick. Like it does. It gives an element of like a finality to what their relationship is. It gives us actually some substance on like, I guess, I don't know, like it. I know that we know they're going to get together, but like, even if it doesn't work out, they are mates. Like you can't, like that doesn't just turn off. So they're going to have to figure that out, which I think is going to be a very interesting element for their story together.
Well, I guess, because this didn't surprise me either, because one, you had called it, and I was never against the idea. I don't know what I said exactly when it happened. I was like, yeah, I think I was like, you could be right. I mean, that sounds like it could be the case. I think I was still on team, like, and I still am on team, like he recognized her as a reincarnated being of some kind. So that wasn't what happened in that moment, but I still think she is.
Okay,
so I'm sticking with that.
Save that trophy for yourself.
I'm going to be prediction champ 2025. Just you wait. But no, like it makes sense when you talked about it, when you called it out. It made sense. And it just seems, I wasn't terribly surprised by this. What I was a little bit surprised by was Feyre's reaction to this.
I was a little taken back.
Well, I guess not to put the cart before the horse, but she is pissed that he didn't
mad.
tell. She is so angry, like super angry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all basically stemming from the fact that he didn't tell her. He knew because she asked the cereal specifically, does he know? It tells her yes. For a long while, yes. Since, and she cuts it off. She says, no, he can tell me. I want to hear it from his lips.
Yes.
And she even thinks about, like, she asked the cereal, how can I be his mate? Mates were equals, matched, at least in some ways. And the cereal tells her, he is the most powerful High Lord to ever walk this earth. You are new. You are made of all 7 High Lords, unlike anything. Are you two not similar in that? Are you not matched? So she goes back into the cave. Is like, here, bitch, eat this, drink my blood, and then we're fucking off.
Dude, it's like when your mom is fucking pissed at you, but still needs to feed you when you're a child.
Yeah.
Terrifying, by the way. Terrifying experience.
And you can, Rhys is literally pissing his britches right now, 100%. He's no longer hard as granite. He is soft and scared. So, okay, she's pissed because he knew and didn't tell her. And her whole thing is he'd promised not to lie and keep things from her. Which, okay, sure, I understand that aspect of it, Feyre.
Uh-huh.
But to me, if I was given this news and I understood the, like, weight of this mate thing, which it seems like Feyre does, considering my feelings and my relationship and my absurd hots for this guy to this point, wouldn't this be like the greatest relief and like,
yes,
most exciting thing ever?
Yes. So I thought about this a decent amount, and I think I see both sides.
Sure.
So first off, I personally think that Rhys not telling her is, especially like up until now, like recently, because there hasn't been any like, there's always been tension between them and interest between them, but like she's not sought it out or like made the advance to be like, hey, I might be interested in exploring this until very recently. And I feel like I really respect that he is not trying to play the fate card.
Right. No, for sure. I think
be like, hey, like if we're going to be this, like I want it to be real. Like I want us to find each other in this way, in a real way. And I love that.
I think he had great reasons for not telling her.
Absolutely.
And he communicates those to her when she confronts him about it.
All I think is that, like, I think that both can be right. Both can be true.
Sure.
She has a lot of heavy trauma about feeling like led on or strung along because of something greater. Like something else is driving her story.
You're talking about with Tamlin.
With Tamlin.
Sure.
And I think that it's just it's got to be a really icky feeling for her, feeling like I'm going through these motions with you, but you know that there's something bigger that's making us do this. And I just think that both are true. I like it's just a hard pill for her to swallow because of how distasteful it is from Tamlin, and she just needs some time to realize like he was just wanting to respect her choice if that was not what she wanted.
Sure. I guess I can understand what you're talking about with her past, trauma and experience with this type of thing. But if anything, I feel like that should make her respect the way Rhys was going about it more.
Yes.
Is because he specifically wanted their relationship to grow, or was at least doing everything he could to let their relationship grow naturally and not just let it be this, hey, we're mates. So let's.
So you're mine, I'm yours.
So you're
like,
mine, hop in bed with me, I'm going to fuck you against the wall, whole thing.
And
but so that's why what I was going to finish with was like, I'm sure this is just like her needing some time and she'll get over this. Because like, what else is going to happen?
I think that she will come to respect his position or whatever.
In this moment, this reaction from her just seems like a little bit of a forced from the author of like, well, I need and want some tension between these two in this moment. So I'm going to have Feyre super overreact and go off into the mountains.
It might be a little heavy-handed. I don't think I disagree with that completely. I think that that Feyre being upset, I think, is true to her character.
Yes, agreed.
And accurate. But I can see what you're saying. She does go.
I think she takes it a little too far.
She does go a little hard in the paint.
Because even she's like angrily healing him. She's like lost all care for his well-being even for a bit here at this point. Like she still does it. She still heals him. I mean, but she's like not happy about it.
Yeah. No, I think she does care. She's just like, I need to remove. No, I don't think I feel that strong. I do think that maybe she's a little heavy on like how immediate and angry her reaction is, but I think the way that I'm reading this is that Feyre wants to do what she needs to do so that she can get out of the situation, so she can have her space.
That's fair. And I don't hate this, just for the record. Yeah, it just felt a little heavy-handed from the author in my mind. It was just like
I don't disagree.
I feel like this is the author moving the story bits in the way that she needs them to be. Whereas, if a story is being told well and being done well, it's like the author's hand should be invisible. You know what I'm saying?
Right, sure.
Where it's like, no, this feels a little much.
A little push in that
moment.
direction.
Yes.
I don't think that's. I think that's a very valid take.
And again, I don't hate it. Like, I'm not super upset about it. It's just because I think like their interaction is like the conversation they have, and like I said, Rhys's reasons I actually really like and respect. So
I do. Yeah, I really do. Like he's truly like he's coming from a place of like sincerely just wanting to, and I keep going back to this every fucking episode, just wanting to give her agency.
Yes, correct.
Like,
Again,
I mean, he tells her like you were in love with Tamlin. You were supposed to be getting married. You know what I mean? Like and it goes back to, like, I don't know if you can recall when we were talking about the whole imprinting thing.
How could I ever forget you talking about imprinting?
Well, it's just like fated mates, twin flames, imprinting, whatever the fuck, like all these tropes in my head, or the way that it works in my brain is like in most cases they will end up together romantically, but in some like offhand cases, sometimes it's like that's not what is right for them. But like in Rhys's case, like I think his outlook is like, I may not be able to be romantically with you, but I will, because you are my mate, I will always be there for you in some capacity. A protector, a friend, something. Right. And I think
that's a really good way of looking at it. Yeah. That's a good point.
And I think that is like, that's been my perception on it, like especially from Twilight with the whole imprinting thing, like that is definitely like a conversation that happens. But like applying that to the situation is like, I think that he's simply being respectful of like where she's at that time.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I 100% agree.
So
I it's one of those things where it's like, I understand why Feyre is upset, but I just don't agree with it. And I think once she gets some time to think things over, I think she will, like, surely she will come to understand that he definitely had her best interests at heart.
Yes. Yeah. And let us both say too, us saying, I think I want to use some more clear language here. I understand where she's coming from, and I also think her feelings are valid.
Yes, no, 100%.
Given her experience, I just want to make sure that we're validating,
right,
her experience and her feelings there. I just think that they need to be worked through, because they're like it's an opportunity for them to like really grow together, I think.
No, 100%. To go through this, I mean, we've talked a lot about it, but to go through it real quickly, basically, Rhys tells her he suspected for a while. He knew for certain when Amarantha was killing her, and then he felt the bond snap into place when they were talking on the balcony, which that's when I think I made you the prediction champ, because you called it like 100% spot on.
I really did, dude.
You really did. So good on you, mate. So she asked him, when were you going to tell me? I don't know. I wanted to yesterday. So yeah, I think he was about to tell her when they were shot. Yeah. Or whenever you'd notice that it wasn't just a bargain between us. I hoped you might realize when I took you to bed. And then she asked, this I found interesting, do the others know? And he's like, yeah, Amren and Mor do. Azrael and Cassian, they're not nearly as smart. They just merely suspect.
They suspect it.
So yeah, I think part of this is definitely Feyre feeling embarrassed, I feel like, too, that it took her so long to realize when everyone else knows. So that's a valid feeling as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, like you talked about with the Tamlin aspect of it. Why didn't you tell me? You were in love with him. You were going to marry him. And then you were enduring everything and it didn't feel right to tell you. And then she comes back with, I deserve to know. And he hits her back with like, well, hey, the other night you told me you wanted distraction and fun, not a mating bond. So how was I supposed to fucking take that, more or less?
Yeah.
You know, that made him feel like shit, that he was a giant mess.
Poor guy.
Yeah, it's a very tough situation. Like, again, like it's not very often you will find me taking Rhys's side and being like, no, I feel for this predicament he's in this situation.
Yeah.
But this is definitely,
that's some real growth from you, Scott. I love to see it.
This is a tough pickle he's in. What can I say? He's in a spot. Because yeah, he even brings up the fact that maybe you would be happy without me, not only because of what a mess I am he says, maybe I should let you go so you don't have a lifetime of assassins and high lords hunting you down for being with me.
Right.
Like, again, he's got all her best interests at heart. It's just, like I said, it's a tough one. It's a real pickle. And she's just like, he's regaining some of his strength. She has him winnow them back to the Illyrian camp. And she realizes that her heart is aching. And she's like, oh, he repaired my heart when it was super broken.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's aching again because of him.
She wants to go. She wants out.
She wants out. And
I love
that's
this
pretty
moment
much the end
with
of this
Morgan,
chapter.
by the way.
Yeah, me too. Oh, for sure. 1,000%.
There's not a lot that's said, but the way that Morgan is described, looking between
biting her
Rhys
lip, unsure,
and realizing like I need to be present for.
I think she probably knows exactly what happened.
Yeah,
because she knows that they're
yes
mates. So I
Yes.
think she probably knows exactly what happened in this moment.
I love it. I don't have a specific quote or anything like that. Just they get back to the camp and Morgan and Cassian realize, like, they see that Rhys is
All
looking
fucked
like
up.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
They rush outside. Cassian realizes that Feyre is in good shape, so he goes immediately to Rhys. Morgan lingers, and Feyre's like, "Can you please take me away from here?
Take me somewhere far away.
Take me away." And she hesitates, and she looks between the two, and she makes a decision to be present for Feyre, and help her. And I just love that. I love Morgan.
I need more of Morgan and Feyre friend time. Always,
like,
and
truly, like even in these quiet moments when they don't get to share a story or talk too much, like, just like the feel, like, as a reader, feeling how much care and respect there is between the two is insane for how little they've interacted.
Yes,
but like every time they are together, I feel it.
Yeah.
And I need more of it. So kudos to SJM if that's, like, a product of, I mean, it is obviously a product of writing.
I
but like,
still think probably my favorite sequence in this entire book was when Feyre was telling Morgan how she wants her sisters to, like, meet her and, like, hear her story and all that
when
stuff.
she says, "Don't let the bad days win."
Yes.
Oh my God.
I would say that's, to this point, still my absolute favorite part of this entire book.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good.
So she takes her away. I didn't take note of exactly where it is. Do you have
somewhere in the mountains? It's
somewhere
like
in the mountains.
It's like a Morgan's family's home, but also maybe where they sent her to punish her. Maybe, seems like.
She says only family can get into this place, and Feyre uses that as like, oh, like, I guess I can get in because I'm his mate.
Well, no, I think doesn't Morgan tell her then, like, no, you have my permission to come in or something like that?
No, you have it backwards. So she tells Feyre it's only for family.
Oh, I misunderstood that.
And
okay.
she's like, oh, I guess I can come in because I'm his mate. And she goes, like, she says something like now that you're, like, basically she's giving her the rules of the house. Like, now that she's occupying it, like, people can't come in without her permission.
Oh, okay.
So she's telling Morgan, I give you permission to come back. But yeah, when Feyre says that, Morgan's like, did he tell you or did you guess?
Oh yeah, so she definitely knows. Yeah.
It's just it's a very short exchange between the two. And Morgan tries to.
Feyre asks her, please don't tell him where I am. And Morgan says, he'll try to find you. Tell him I don't want to be found, not for a while. And Morgan starts to say, it's not my business, then don't say anything.
Yeah.
And Morgan does anyway. She says, he wanted to tell you, and it killed him not to. But I've never seen him so happy as he is when he's with you. And I don't think, this is the kicker for me, and I don't think that has anything to do with you being his mate.
Yeah, man. Like this can go back to even Tamlin. I think was it Tamlin or was it Alice talking about? No, it was Alice. It was Alice talking
those
about
are two
mates.
very different characters.
Well, because they both talked about their parents and being mates and whatever, but Alice was the one that made the distinction that like her parents. I think it was her. Fuck, and I can't remember. So sorry if I'm getting this wrong, but one of them mentioned how like my parents or her parents were mates and they were actually in love with each other.
Because I don't think Tamlin's parents were mates, right? Or were they?
No, they were, but they were not perfect for each other. Like they hated each other. They grew to hate each other.
Oh, because that's a thing too, right? You can be mates, but not necessarily get along.
The bond is there, but like you're not right for each other.
Okay, interesting. I forgot about that. That. Okay.
Which is why I kept making those parallels last book. With
the Twilight.
With the imprint. I mean, I'm being so serious though, dude. Like they're just
I know.
they're connected in that way and whatever. So
whatever.
I love that Morgan says that. Like you make him so happy and it doesn't even have anything to do with being mates. Like it's just you. It's just your presence, like the thing that like what you guys do together.
Morgan being the goat to the shock of absolutely no one, as always.
Truly, dude.
It's just fucking Morgan coming off for her 5 minutes a game where she drops 30 points and has 16 rebounds and 6 assists.
Right, truly.
She's fucking incredible. Yeah, and then basically Feyre is like, "Hey, thanks for bringing me. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'll see you later."
And that is the end of this is part 2, right?
That's true. Yeah, true. The house, I did see it. Do you want me to tell you?
Oh, sure. I didn't see it, but
wait,
sure.
Now can I think it was the House of Mist.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which this is a court of mist and fury. So I think it was the House of Mist. Now I have to check. Hang on. Oh, surely I have it here somewhere. God, Zach, why did I try and check? There we go. The House of Mist. I was right. I had it right all along.
Nice.
All right. Shall we do that thing that we do?
We should do that thing.
Or do you have any final thoughts that we need that we didn't talk about?
I think just overall, Scott, this is the most. I think as an entire batch, this is the most exciting batch of chapters.
This was a great batch. This was a phenomenal batch. It had everything. It had sick action. It had really good, like a verbal joust conversation between Lucien and Feyre. It had really good sexy times. It made me laugh several times.
Yeah.
Mostly during the sexy times.
Right.
Yeah, and I was into a lot of what was going on. For sure.
And you know what I think too, like it needs to be pointed out, like, is that I didn't feel like this was extremely predictable. Because that is one thing. Like plot wise, this story has been a little, I mean, like I'm not gonna critique too hard because like plots, we've talked about this before, plot is pretty low on like the requisites for us to enjoy a story, but it is really refreshing when we can get caught a little off guard and like experience that. So
like we talked about when the spring court fuckers showed up, that took me off guard. I was not expecting it.
I was very excited. So yeah, I had so much fun with this batch of chapters. It was great.
I have to get Zach's award off the screen. Oh, and the Goonian Champ award off the screen. Okay, let me back up because Lucien was not number 1 last week. I do remember from my bit. It was Morgan. All right, if this is time for Who Be Courtin'. Where we last left off, as I said, Morgan had taken the top spot. Feyre was in second. Amren was in third. Rhys was in fourth. And those cheeky queens that's upside down were fifth. Zach, I think the one thing I can confidently say, even with the small quibble I have towards the end, is that Feyre is number 1 for me.
Feyre is number 1 by a fucking landslide, dude.
Yeah.
Feyre is so good in this batch.
Feyre, like I said, Feyre pops off both in bed and in battle. It's 100% Feyre as number 1. Who else are you liking this week?
I mean, come on. I mean, it's Rhys, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right. He is the Gooning champ 2024 after
Yeah, dude, even more. Maybe he should be number 1 then.
No. He's not the throat slit champion.
He's not the throat
2024,
goat,
though.
but
He's not I mean, we don't know. We don't know yet. He was talking about licking an awful lot. He may be. All right. I'll definitely shake to Rhys at 2.
Rhys was actually very good this batch. Also,
Rhys was
man.
very good.
Like,
I
truly.
think that last, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable putting him that high if not for this last bit about how he talked about how I truly think he was looking out for Feyre by not telling her.
Right.
I really want Lucien on here. Like I said, I know he's in a bad spot, and Feyre was not very kind to him, but he's my goat.
Well, I mean, look, this whole who be courting thing is like who brought us the most enjoyment to like reading these chapters, and I think Lucien showing up and being a part of that, I think is huge.
So you're good with him at 3?
I think I'm good with him at 3. I think Morrigan's a number 4 for me.
I would agree. And then the Surreal.
Oh shit!
Who else were you thinking? Have I forgotten someone?
No,
were you about
no.
to say Cassian?
No. I was going to say I don't know who else.
That's who I was thinking of, was the Surreal.
The Surreal's a great pick. Fuck, dude, does the Surreal go over Morrigan? The Surreal was good.
Ooh, I don't know. Morgan wasn't in a lot, but again, when she was, well, the same can be true for the Serial. Are we forgetting anyone before we narrow it down to?
No, I mean we get
placement?
some stuff with Azriel, Cassian, and Morrigan at the beginning, like when they're dancing. But like, yeah,
Amren was like not in this section at all.
Yeah. No, I think
it's
you're
Morgan
right.
in the Serial. I could be convinced either way.
I think I care about Morrigan more, so I'm okay with her being up 4.
Okay, all right. Also, I think and I don't want Morgan to be upside down. We can put the Serial in the funny upside down,
in the weird
position.
upside down box.
Yeah.
That's so
it's
funny.
looking worse and worse every time.
Yeah, you need to figure that out.
No, it's way
just make a new
funnier if I
text
don't.
box, bud.
No. Before it was like I said, a bunch of letters that are the same whether they're right side up or not. And then for Cheeky Queens, it was like halfway there, and now the Serial is like, nope, none of these letters work anymore.
That's so funny.
All right, that's gonna be it for Who Be Courtin'. Feyre had a hell of a batch
fucking
of
hell of a
chapters.
week.
Hell of a week. Number 1 with a bullet. Rhys was 2. Lucien was 3. Morgan was 4. And the Surreal was 5. I was legit super stoked when I realized she was gonna call the Serial again or trap the Serial again, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Zachy boy, anything else before we get the fuck out of here?
I think that is everything. Guys, next episode.
There you go.
We are diving into part 3, our home stretch of this book. Next episode, if you are reading along, is going to be chapters 52 through 56. And then there will be only 2 more episodes after that. So 3 more episodes for the rest of this book.
Oh, is that all?
That's all. Very excited to dive in. Yeah, and we did the plugs at the beginning, guys. We don't need to bore you guys with that stuff again. Thank you guys for listening and watching. It was a lot of. I had a lot of fun with this episode.
That was a fun batch, fun episode.
Hell yeah! We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.